Hey y'all, it's Asha Cerise. Welcome back to my channel. This is day 7 in Brazil.
I'm on the way to meet up with Ahmad to do a quick little interview because both of us have things to do today.
So as I mentioned before in a previous vlog, Ahmad, our friend from New York, has been living in Salvador Bahia for 16 years. So I asked him if I would be able to interview him, and that's what I did on this day. Interview dropping soon. Of course, you know I had to start my day at my favorite delicatessen. I came in, got my juice, and started my day. I headed back to the Airbnb to drop off my equipment because I had some things on my list that I wanted to do before I left Salvador Bahia. Remember the other day when my new friend from Bar Monica recommended I try Acarajé? She actually sent me to this place. So I finally made it. It's in the center of Rio Vermelho, aka Red River. These ladies are called Baianas. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, and they usually wear traditional West African clothes as they serve Acarajé.
Quer beber alguma coisa? Caipirinha, uma água, uma cerveja?
I only speak English.
One beer, caipirinha,
Um, Agua
água, sem gás,
and fritas.
batata frita. Sim. Quer uma porção de batata e uma água. Isso.
I was grubbing so much, y'all, I didn't even feel like bringing out the Google Translate, but we handled it. I ordered some fries and some water, and guess what? After I ate that, I went back and got another acarajé. It was so delicious, so hot and fresh, and the vinaigrette was really fresh and delicious as well. After I enjoyed my lunch, I grabbed an Uber and went to the Modelo Market and Pelourinho. And just some history about Salvador Bahia. It was the first capital of Brazil from 1549 to 1763. Salvador was a major center for the African slave trade during the colonial period, and it was actually the first slave market in the New World starting in 1558. Brazil imported almost 5 million Africans, with over 1.3 million of them arriving in Bahia. As I mentioned before, the African culture has been preserved pretty well in Bahia. As you see here, the Orishas are represented heavily through Bahia. Candomblé, which is a religion originated from Yoruba spirituality, is just one of many examples of how they've preserved African culture. Of course, it is also reflected in the art, music, food, and the costumes, such as the ones they wear for carnival. The rhythms of samba, all of that is influenced by African culture. And then, of course, you see the people. It is considered the Black Mecca due to the population and the concentration of the Black and mixed race people. This was a really hot day because summer was approaching. Summer begins in November there in Brazil, and it was the last week of October. So I arrived at the Modelo Market, but of course, you know I gotta stop and get a coconut first. This one was so refreshing and cold. And the next clip, I just thought it was so funny because no matter what country you're in, there's always a black uncle somewhere telling a story, super dramatic, and everybody just sitting around watching them tell it. So I don't know what he was saying or what he was talking about, but it was intense, and he had everybody locked in, including me. Some fun facts about the Modelo Market. It's located in the Comercio neighborhood, facing the Bay of All Saints and next to the Lacerda elevator. The market is housed in the former Salvador Customs House, a neoclassical building that was built in 1861. The building was used to house enslaved people in the 19th century. The market was inaugurated in 1912 but has been rebuilt after fires in 1969 and 1984. The market is full of vendors who sell a variety of goods, including souvenirs, musical instruments, clothing, hammocks, wood carvings, lace, jewelry, herbs and spices, local food and candies, artworks, and so much more. As I've mentioned time and time again, the art is heavily influenced by the Orishas and African culture. And guess what? Black American culture is represented as well. You see it. I thought I could walk to Pelourinho from the market, but it was so hot and I got lost. So I called an Uber, and as I was waiting outside of this museum, the security told me to come step inside because it was dangerous where I was standing. I believe he meant, there's robberies or people snatching jewelry or phones. And plus, it was super hot and it was so cool and refreshing standing inside of this museum. So my Uber arrived and dropped me off at Pelourinho. Pelourinho translates to pillory, a reference to the whipping post that once stood in the central plaza where enslaved people were punished during the colonial era. It is now a lively center for music, dance, capoeira, demonstrations, and traditional Afro-Brazilian culture. Hip hop is worldwide, y'all. I felt like I had touched down in the 80s because when I arrived, there were some break dancers across the street. As you can see, the views and architecture is absolutely breathtaking. So let's take a walk through Pelourinho. I believe there is a museum back here and around the corner, but I noticed these structures and I was so intrigued I had to get closer and take some pictures in front of. You can check it out on my Instagram. If I could break dance, I would have went over there and joined them. As I walked through Pelourinho, I was greeted by so many friendly, kind-hearted people. Because I had my head wrapped, I was told that I looked like Nefertiti, and the man showed me that he had Nefertiti tattooed on his arm. They were excited about me being from America. Some of the people could speak English or a little bit of English, so they wanted to have conversations with me. And I was told by one particular man who I appreciate, he said, do not go around that corner where I just came from after 5 p.m. So I was getting a lot of warnings and I definitely took heed to them. I did a little sightseeing. I took some pictures, which you can check out on my Instagram, of course. And I did a little shopping and bought some art. I felt like I fit right in. Again, Pelourinho is known for its well-preserved colonial architecture, cobblestone streets, and vibrant cultural scene. Some of the notable landmarks you may want to visit while you're there are Largo do Pelourinho, the main square where the historical pillory once stood, Church of São Francisco, a stunning church renowned for its ornate gold leaf decoration, and Cathedral Basilica of Salvador, the city's main Catholic cathedral. Excuse me if I pronounce anything wrong. This is a popular tourist site, so you will be approached by people wanting to sell you things, charge you to take pictures with them, and to possibly paint your arm. I wouldn't recommend you getting your arm painted when you first arrive because it is a telltale sign that you're a tourist and you may be upcharged for everything. Because this was my last full day in Bahia, I went ahead and got it done. He basically convinced me to let him paint my arm, and he said he wasn't going to charge me anything, but I tipped him anyway. Even though I didn't know exactly what he was saying, I felt his energy and I felt that his intentions were pure. So everything that he was speaking over me as he was painting my arm, I was in agreement with. It was starting to get close to sunset, so I took some more pictures, met a few more people, had some conversations, and I decided to go ahead and call my Uber so I can get back to my familiar neck of the woods. There was a detour, so we had to hit a couple of side streets, and I headed back to the Airbnb. I needed to drop off the things that I purchased, take a little break, freshen up, and then I headed back out because this was supposed to be my last evening in Bahia.
Starting to get sad because I love it here. But I'll be back. I will be back many, many times. I'm trying to make it to the beach before the sun goes down because this is technically my last night on this trip in Salvador Bahia. So I'm gonna go to the beach and walk and watch the sunset. But first, I gotta get across this street.
By the time I got to the beach, the sun had pretty much already set, but it was still beautiful. So I took my time and walked along the beach and just took in all the vibes of Bahia. It was such a vibe. Someone was playing Daniel Caesar and Kaylani, so I was enjoying the views. I took some pictures, and you can check those out on Instagram. I went back to the Airbnb and got dressed for the evening.
Fresh face. I just do a mask.
The rest of that sentence was I was just rocking mascara and lip gloss. But anywho, I took some pictures in front of the lighthouse. I took a stroll down the boardwalk, taking it all in, enjoying the music, people watching, and I found me a restaurant that I wanted to try out. This was a Saturday night, so you know the boardwalk was lively. I caught a little bit of this performer singing at this restaurant, and I was supposed to be meeting up with Lorenzo and a friend a little later, so I found the restaurant that I was going to eat at, and I decided instead of sitting inside that I wanted to sit outside. So you'll catch a little glimpse of me coming from the upstairs back to where I was going to be seated.
Why I done found a restaurant that's right down the street that has all kind of vegan options, and I've been struggling all week since Monday. It's Saturday and I leave tomorrow. So I'm going to enjoy a lot of things on the menu and enjoy the view and people watch and stay tuned to see what everything is tasting like. I'm here at Kitanda restaurant. This is what the menu is looking like. I guess everything on the menu is healthy. So, guess who's gonna be trying multiple things? Me.
So although I was really excited to just buy the whole menu up of vegan options, they actually were out of a lot of things. So I ended up going with this chickpea stroganoff, and it was really good. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. It had some hearts of palm in it, and it had really good flavors, and it came with rice as well. My waiter was watching nearby to see if I liked it, and I realized that he hadn't brought out the tofu skewers that I ordered. He was confused about whether or not I wanted the skewers, so I told him that I did, and he brought them right out. I was a little skeptical at first because it looked so real.
All right, I'm on my big girl vibes because I've been struggling to find vegan options all week. So I didn't order the tofu skewers. They're beautifully plated. We about to check it out. Oh my goodness. Pretty sure this is tofu. I just had a damn coffee. No, thank you. Thank you.
Someone approached me and was trying to sell me something, and he would not take no for an answer. That's one thing I don't really like invading people's personal space while they're eating to try to sell them something. I was afraid to try this because I knew it was going to activate my coughing fit, so I just stuck with the tofu, and it was pretty good. Met up with Lorenzo and a friend, and we went to Rio Vermelho. Once again, it was Saturday night, so the city was alive. There was so much to do, so much to choose from. We tried to see if there were places where Lorenzo could grab him something to eat. We ended up back at the place that we met up with a group of friends that night before.
Pra toda a vida, mas se enganada faz coisa que Deus duvida. Ela é uma dama que honra a fidelidade, mas também semina que age com falsidade. Muito mais perigosa que bala perdida. Ela joga granada, depois sai batida. Se não pega na volta, ela pega na ida.
They ordered fish and fries. I ordered this passion fruit drink. We listened to music and enjoyed the rest of our evening. Stay tuned for day 8. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.